don't make a sound.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be all about crystals. I took a poll on Instagram a while back and I asked if you guys would be interested in finding out more information about them or how you could use them and things like that. So today I'm making that video. I've filmed this video, this is my third time. I can't seem to get it right, so hopefully third time's a charm. So if you want to find out about crystals and how I use them and how you can also use them in your everyday life too, then just keep on watching. So first things first, this is my collection. Okay, last time I did this, it spilled everywhere. Let's just, okay, you see it, you get the point. All right, so this is my collection on crystals. I had like a whole bunch of information written down and like a lot of notes, but I feel like I just honestly work better when I just sit in front of the camera and talk. I feel like when I have notes, I just like, I'm not myself because I have to like read it and then, you know, interpret it into my mind and then get that out verbally without sounding like a robot. So I'm just gonna talk, which is what I do best. Okay. So I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a background on crystals. So quantum physics actually discovered that everything vibrates at its own unique energy and frequency. Everything is energy around us. There's a quote even by Albert Einstein that says it. It says that everything is energy. Match the energy to what it is that you want, and then you can create the reality that you want, something like that. I'm not going to get too into like law of attraction, even though it does kind of correlate with this subject, but I'm just here specifically to talk about crystals. So this is going to be like the dumbed down video, I guess you could say. Like, I'm sure any other video you find will be like a bunch of like scientific facts and evidence and this and that. I'm just going to tell you guys what they've done for me and what I believe they can do for you as well. So basically, you've heard the quote that says that we are humans, and we are in, you know, physical form, obviously, but we are not of the physical. We are actually of, you know, spirit and energy. And since everything around us is energy, a lot of times on our journey here in this world, we pick up, I feel like there's something behind me. This is scary. Okay, pick up on, you know, some lower frequency things. Just as much as we can heighten our frequency, we can also lower our frequency at the same time. And that also causes us to have things like anxiety and depression and make us kind of feel just like heavy and down. And what crystals kind of do is they help regulate our energy. So basically inside this little crystal are tiny vortexes of energy spinning at their own unique frequency. And what crystals do is they help us regulate our own energy and raise our frequency. So just to throw out an example out there, I have pretty bad anxiety. I have days where I feel super anxious, days where I feel just super kind of like down and depressed and just overstimulated. And something that would help me regulate that and regulate my energy would be to pick up an amethyst crystal. Amethyst is really good at helping with your anxiety, also really good at regulating hormones and things like that. So me holding this and meditating with it, the energy from this crystal is therefore going to reflect off my energy and help me regulate it, so I can feel a little less anxious, a little less down, a little less overstimulated. And this kind of just helps me like calm me down by holding this, meditating, focusing my attention into the crystal, and then it really just helps me not feel as crappy as I was feeling before. That's like the watered down version of it. Of course, there's a whole bunch of science and you know, big words and stuff that go into it, but that's kind of like the dumbed down version of what crystals kind of do for you. Now, each crystal has its own unique healing properties. Some are for anxiety, some are for depression, some are for, you know, boosting your mood or boosting your self-esteem or helping you kind of like communicate with others. There's crystals for communication, there's crystals for, you know, attracting money, attracting wealth and prosperity. Anything in your life that you feel like you're lacking, or anything that could be kind of like improved or uplifted, a crystal can help you with. So I'm just kind of going to go through the crystals that I feel like everybody should have in their starter pack. And before that, I'm going to go into how you should pick them. So there's a bunch of crystal shops in Connecticut, and basically what you have to do is go into one, and before you go into it with an open mind. First, learning about these things can kind of be a little off-putting, especially if you're not very educated on it, but I promise if you go into it with an open mind, you're not going to be disappointed. So go into a crystal shop, and basically you're supposed to go to the crystal that you're most gravitated towards. So for example, say you go into a crystal shop and you see like a purple crystal and you're like, okay, I'm instantly kind of gravitated towards that. that's the crystal that you're supposed to pick. Your body kind of tells you what you're lacking in and what crystal that you should pick in order to kind of regulate that emotion or regulate that energy. So when I first walked in, I saw amethyst, grabbed it right away. Amethyst is for anxiety. Saw clear quartz. Clear quartz kind of helps amplify any stone that you're holding. So say I'm like having a really just anxious day, I really want to meditate with my amethyst and make sure that I'm not feeling anxious anymore. I would take my clear quartz and I would kind of hold them together, and this would help kind of bring out the energy from this stone. This also has a bunch of great healing properties as well. This one is really good for stimulating the immune system and bringing out balance in the body. It also absorbs, stores, and releases energy, and it's also really good at warding off negative energy as well, which is something that I really needed at the time. I feel like there was just a lot of like negativity around me, and also I was kind of in a negative headspace as well, so I think there's a reason why I was drawn to this one. Jade is also really good. This kind of is mainly for helping you see past your set limitations. So for example, if you are kind of somebody who like talks down on yourself a lot or limits yourself in this life, this is really good for kind of like seeing past that and, you know, seeing past your limitations and past what you think that you're incapable of doing, which is really something that I needed at the time. I wasn't that confident within myself. I wasn't talking to myself very nicely, because our thoughts and actions, you know, become our reality, and perception is reality. And I think that I was perceiving myself as somebody that wasn't good enough, somebody that wasn't worthy, somebody that wasn't happy, and this kind of helps you see past those limitations. It's also really great for providing harmony within the body as well. This is one of my favorites. This is selenite, which if you don't know about this, you need to get one. Selenite is really good for helping regulate energy, warding off negative energy. If you literally take this and just like rub it around your body where you're feeling like anxious and just it feels kind of tight, this instantly helps relieve that. And this is really great for helping kind of bring in like that white light energy that we all want to surround ourselves with, so that way we're always protected and we're always kept safe, and we're also always trying to, you know, stay positive and tune in with our higher self. Crystals are great for expanding human consciousness, and what I mean by that is, you know, we all have like a higher self. We have a spiritual self. We're all spiritual beings, and crystals kind of help us gravitate towards a higher state of consciousness. That way we're aware of our surroundings and we're aware of who we're bringing into our life. And if we see a situation and our perception of that situation is like kind of fishy, or we get that gut instinct, that's our higher self kind of getting in tune with us and telling us when something's wrong, but also when things are right as well, when you should take an opportunity, or when you should be paying attention to the signs around you, or when you should, you know, like when you get a sign to do something, your higher self is what tells you to do that. So say you have a job offer and you're not really sure if you should take it or not, your higher self is going to help you and guide you to make that decision on whether this job is going to be super beneficial for you or not. But when you're out of touch with your higher self, it's kind of hard for you to get those messages and get those signals because there's a block. So it's just like when, I don't know, you have a friend that you haven't talked to in a really long time. You don't really know what's going on in their life. You don't really know how to reach out to them because you guys haven't talked in so long. There's that disconnect. There's that block. That's kind of like the relationship between you and your higher self. When you're not, you know, constantly nourishing and growing that relationship that you have with your spiritual self and your higher self, it's kind of hard for you to make decisions in life because you don't really have like we always have a navigating system. We have a divine guidance system at all times, but when you're out of touch with it, it's kind of hard to make decisions that are right and beneficial to your life, or decisions that, you know, like when you're getting signs that tell you like, hey, like maybe stay away from that person because they may not be good for you. It's kind of hard to hear, you know, like your inner voice when you're not really connected with it. I hope that makes sense. So yes, these were my starters. These are my first four: amethyst, jade, clear quartz, and selenite. I really suggest that everybody has these in their kit just because they're great for anything that you want to do in life, and there's so many healing properties to them. You can honestly just look it up. The list goes on and on. But anyway, back to how you should pick your crystals. So I would say stick with 4, because if you get a whole bunch of pretty looking extravagant crystals, you may not use them because there's just so many that you don't know what to really do with. So I would say definitely go in, stick to 4, get the 4 that you're most gravitated towards, and on the little box where the crystals are in, it will give you a description that says what healing property that crystal is for, or what it helps you with, what it's good for, what it's used for, how to use it. It's just full of information on how this crystal can really just benefit your life and benefit you in the long run. So now you know how to get your crystals. Next is how to use them. So to use them is actually pretty easy. A lot of people first get them and they're like, okay, I have them, now what the heck do I do with them? And I can totally relate because I was there at one point in my life as well. First thing is using them in meditation. This is not for everybody because I know not everybody likes to meditate. It's definitely a self-discipline skill that you really have to work towards every single day in order to really like master. I still have not mastered the art of meditation. I have days where I'm like, I really don't want to meditate. I feel like my thoughts are just going to be completely scattered. I'm not going to be able to concentrate. But the point in meditation is not to be free of thoughts. It's to regulate thoughts. So a lot of times I'm not going to get too into this, but our brain wavelength patterns are just out of this world because we have so many intrusive thoughts coming in at one time, right? So it's scattered. It's like, you know, when a kid takes a picture and they just kind of go to town with the crayon, it's scattered. Meditation helps regulate, so that way the wavelength is just kind of like normal. It's not too scattered, it's not too straight, but it's normal. I hope that makes sense. So meditation is really just to sit there and not completely get rid of thoughts. You're never going to be able to sit down and close your eyes and have nothing going on upstairs. You know, like, you know that episode of SpongeBob where he like clears out his brain and like like takes all the papers and shreds them, that way he has like nothing going on in there? It's never going to be like that, okay? You're always going to have thoughts. You're always going to be thinking of something. Life has so many things to worry about, but the point in meditation is to regulate those thoughts and be at peace with them. So yes, you may sit there and think about your grocery list that you have, or you may think about how you have to go bring your kids to soccer practice in 30 minutes, or you may think about that exam that you have coming up, or work and how your boss is just stressing you out. Of course, you're always going to think of those things. Meditation just helps regulate it. It kind of helps you be at peace with those thoughts. That way you're not just so like scatterbrained all the time. I can do a whole separate video on meditation, but right now I really just want to concentrate on the crystals. So what you really would do is you would just sit there, you close your eyes, take a few deep breaths in, and just feel yourself connecting with your own body's unique energy force. You would take the crystal, you would put it in your hand, and you want to set your intention before you start meditating. So for example, say this meditation, or you know, you holding this crystal is because you've just had a really bad day and you're really anxious and you kind of just want to like let go of the day. You want to just feel at peace and comfortable with yourself, and you don't want to be so anxious during this moment. That's the intention that you would send. You don't have to say it out loud. You can just think it to yourself. You hold the crystal and just feel it start to work. I'm promising you guys, it doesn't take 5 years. It just takes a simple intention setting meditation for you to feel better. And you just sit there with the crystal, you take a few deep breaths in, and you start to feel the energy of the crystal regulating with your body. And this isn't the only way to do this. You don't even have to meditate. You can sit there, and my friend literally does this. You can just hold it. You can rub it in between your palms. And like I said, just take a few breaths, set your intention, and just tell yourself that this crystal is going to be helping you. This crystal is going to be benefiting you. This crystal is going to be helping you regulate your energy, your body, and your mind, because it's all connected. And that's basically all there is to it. That's not the only way though, but that's the simplest way that I started, and I think that you guys could start too, and it would really start helping you. You can put crystals around your house. I have crystals in my room, in my car, even in my daughter's room. I sometimes like carry them around with me in my purse, and I actually really like this method too because the sun will kind of shine through them, and the healing properties from that crystal will kind of start emulating into the room that you're in. So say you have a room that the energy just doesn't feel so great in there. When you walk in, it's not like you're happy and uplifted. You're kind of just like meh. You kind of would put the crystals in the windowsill, and the sun would shine through and, like I said, emulate that energy around the room to make it feel more bright and uplifted. You can also have them at work. Say you're at work and you have a project that's coming up and you really want to make sure this project is going to, you know, make you some good money, make everybody else some good money. It's really going to do good things for you in the company. You can buy crystals that are specifically for bringing in money, wealth, and prosperity. Keep them around your desk, and that's going to help you with that project and to stay on task. I'm not sitting here saying that if you buy a crystal you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. It's not going to happen, but the energy kind of helps you get towards that end goal that you have for yourself. Or even if you're at a workplace or you have to go somewhere frequently where there's negative energy. I used to work somewhere that had horribly negative energy all around the place, and it was like nothing that I did made it better. And I was at a point where like I didn't know what to do, and so I got some black onyx. This is also a personal favorite of mine, and what I did was I would literally carry it in my bra. I'm not even kidding you. And what this does is it helps ward off negative energy and negative thoughts from other people. And when I say like it helps like ward off that energy, it basically just regulates you to the point where you're not absorbing that energy from other people. It's not like a shield that's going to block anybody from talking to you. I mean, of course, I'm sure we'd all want some crystal where we don't have to have human interaction for a day, but that's not possible. So this really helps kind of regulate yourself and your intentions and your mood. That way you're not absorbing the negativity from other people. It's kind of like a block from it, if that makes sense. So black onyx is also a really good one to keep in your collection too. There's also crystals for, like I said, like wealth and prosperity. You can just keep around your house. It's kind of going to help you get you into that mood to make some better decisions that are maybe going to benefit your life and the people's lives that are around you. There's also a bunch of crystals that are great for positivity. Say that you just kind of want to stay in a mood where you're kind of in a state of mind of positivity and happiness and prosperity, and you want to continue that path. You would just grab a crystal, carry it around with you, or put it in your room or meditate with it, and that would kind of help bring that prosperity, wealth, and happiness to you. You don't always have to just get crystals if you're in a state of mind that's like negative or you're not happy. Say that you are feeling perfectly fine. There's a crystal for that too, to just kind of help emulate that and amplify that and make sure that those happy thoughts and feelings and experiences stay in your life, and that it kind of just like helps keep that, it kind of helps just keeps everything at bay. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get crystals, even if you're not feeling anxiety, you're not feeling depression. Like there's a crystal for everything possible that you want to feel in your life. Now, along with having a collection of crystals, it's really important to cleanse them, and I cannot say this enough, and it's also something that I need to work on too. Cleansing your crystals are very important because while they help regulate your energy, they also, like we can pick up on lower frequencies. Crystals can pick up on lower frequencies. So if we have a day where we're holding our crystals and say we just feel very anxious or very negative, that crystal is eventually going to kind of pick up and store that energy. And it may not work as well when you're holding it the next time because it's kind of absorbed all the negativity from your past, you know, meditation or the last time that you were holding it and setting your intentions with it. So once a week, just as you should be cleansing your makeup brushes, you should be cleansing your crystals. So to do this, what I personally do is I get a bowl, I put some like Himalayan salt in it, put my crystals in it, and I put the bowl near the sun. That way the sun kind of cleanses them but also charges them. Just as your phone has to be charged or your headphones need to be charged, you know, everything has kind of like a battery life, I guess you could look at it as. Crystals need the same thing because they pick up on lower frequency energy. So you would just put them under the sun would help cleanse them and charge them, and then they're ready to go for the week. Just air dry them. You could even like sage them, and the smoke from the sage will kind of help cleanse them as well. I just personally like the sunlight because it charges as well as cleanses. You could even, under like a full moon, the energy is super powerful. Then you could do the same thing, just take the bowl, put the salt in it, put it underneath the moon will help cleanse and charge it as well. It's super important to do this. I cannot like stress this enough because sometimes people get crystals and they love them and then it's like, hey, it's not working anymore. Well, yeah, because you're making all of that energy go into the crystals and they're absorbing it, and when something something is full of negative energy, it's kind of hard to put out positivity. So you need to charge them and cleanse them as your regular routine, or otherwise they're not going to work as well or be as beneficial. And one of the last things that I want to talk about that you can use for crystals, and this video is kind of getting long, so I'm going to put this in a separate video. It's really good for aligning your chakras. If you don't know what chakras are energy fields in our body. Everybody has energy fields, and we all have 7 chakras, and it's like a line, like it's all throughout our body, and every time that a chakra is blocked, it kind of will start to make us feel it in our physical body. So say you're getting a lot of sore throats, or you're having problems communicating with people, your throat chakra very well could be blocked. And what crystals do is they help unblock our chakras. That way our whole body is at peace and harmony. There's literally a video in Avatar where he talks about this, and I kind of want to put it in the end because he literally talks about how it's like our energy system is like a river. And as a river flows, you know, everything's fine, but every once in a while a rock will get in the river, and after the rock gets in the river, the water has to make its way to try to go around it, but it's super hard to get like through it. You can't go through a rock, you can only go around it. That's what kind of happens when our energy is, I hope I'm explaining this the right way. That's what kind of happens when our energy or our chakras are blocked. Our body is flowing, you know, we're fluid, and then something gets blocked and energy can't get through that blockage. It can only get around it, which is super hard. So crystals help release that block. That way your chakras are now unlocked, and your body and your energy and your mind is just clear, and everything is just flowing, and it feels as it should be. Chakras are something that is like super fascinating to learn about, and I'm definitely going to put it in another video because it's a lot of information, and I don't want to throw too much at you at one time. This is all a process and a learning experience. But so I told you guys about setting your intentions with your crystals, picking them, using them, and cleansing them. And that's pretty much all that I have for today's video. Like I said, this was like the watered down version. This is like the book, like, you know, when you're trying to learn algebra and you go and you pick the book that's like Algebra for Dummies, like it's like the watered down version. This is like Crystals for Dummies, literally. I could have said a lot more, I could have put a lot more information into it, but I feel like at one time it's just a lot to learn about, and I wish that there was kind of a video that was like very simplified when I was first learning about crystals, because, you know, they're talking about quantum physics and atoms and energy, and I'm just like, I haven't taken a science class in like 4 years, my guy, so what are you talking about? So yeah, that's it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. While you're at it, please hit that bell icon. That way you're notified every single time I upload a video. I'm going to be uploading every Wednesday and Sunday, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye!